Alive and Well is brought to you by Pine Rest Christian Mental Health Services.
Depression in the workplace. It is a big reason for illness, presenteeism, and disability. In many jobs, simply showing up and trying to muscle through a serious mental illness can have big consequences. Bob Vanapole is with the Pine Rest Employee Assistance Program, here to talk about recognizing depression in the workplace and how to help. And it is good to see you, Bob.
You too, Catherine. I still play some sports that my wife thinks I'm too old to play. And when I show up on Monday morning with a cast or on crutches, people are really nice to me. They recognize that I'm going to be playing hurt here for that week, and they do nice things for me. But if I show up depressed, my experience may be a whole lot different because of people's lack of understanding about how disabling depression can really be.
And yet what we know is that depression can have a major impact on both the person who's suffering, but also the employer.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. When they measure what leads to disability claims, for example, and they have a continuum that goes from very, very light risk to very heavy risk, severe depression is the equivalent of quadriplegia.
That is
So you think about that, about how disabling that can be, but the fact that it's invisible leads to it not being recognized or treated.
I used the word presenteeism. What does that mean?
So we understand what absenteeism is. That means either I took PTO or I called in at the last minute and didn't show up for my shift.
Yeah.
Presenteeism is when I do show up, sort of. But my performance is severely inhibited because I'm either distracted by stressors or issues at home or in the rest of life, or because of my depression or my anxiety, where I'm just not 100% there.
So I'm calling it sort of like trying to muscle through. This could be dangerous depending on the work that you do. And of course, then go back to the impact on productivity.
It can be, and it's a challenge for workplace leaders because they don't have to be junior ranks, okay? We're not trying to do that. And there are very researched and circumscribed symptoms that somebody needs to meet in order to receive a diagnosis of depression and get appropriate treatment. You don't see a lot of those at work. So you may not see them, but you're going to see somebody who, and it's important to know your employees, to know what's their baseline. How do they normally behave? What's the typical Catherine? And now if Catherine shows up, and she shows up late, and she was never late before, she shows up looking exhausted and fatigued, that's a sign. If she's making more mistakes than usual, if she's not joining in with creative thought, if she's not participating fully in meetings, if she's isolating, if she used to talk about how excited she was to do something on the weekend and now just not so much. Those are some of the signs that an employer may see. She is operating a court low. And what's going on with Catherine?
Yeah. So never mind an employer addressing it. Sometimes I think it's colleagues who notice these things first, right? They deal with each other so much more on a daily. How do you address it with somebody?
It can be hard, but imagine if you were feeling all those things and everybody just blew you off.
Yeah.
And nobody noticed it. Now I'm really depressed. And now I add some shame and I need to hide my feelings and my performance even more, which makes me more depressed. So it's really, really valuable if an organization can have a culture where it's okay to ask for help. Where, because it's so easy for people to just say, how you doing? And then you get a one-word answer, right? We hear fine. But if you have colleagues where it's safe, there's psychological safety, and they can say, I care enough to risk having an awkward conversation. I care enough to risk ticking you off. I've noticed these things. Are you okay? Is there something that I can help with? Would you like to talk? That's entry to care.
All right. Ask those courageous questions. For more information about the kinds of help available through Pine Rest, visit pinerest.org. Bob, so good to see you, and thank you.
Thank you.